Hello everyone, I'm Nico from Sadowsky Germany and welcome to the Q&A session with the man himself, Roger Sadowsky.
Pleasure to be here, Nico.
It's great having you with us. We had a great week.
We did.
Talking about everything we do here in the production and overwatching the process and what we can do better and how we can improve in the future.
And I'm amazed at the progress since I was here last year. It's just incredible, the continuous improvement in the production.
Thank you so much. It's so good to have you here. For this occasion today, we have gathered some questions from the community. Thanks to everyone for sending us all the questions. We have selected 8 questions to ask to Roger today, and I would say I jump right in.
All right, let's go.
Perfect. So the first user is asking why on Sadowsky bases the pickup pen pod is reversed.
Okay, that's a good question. I get asked that quite a lot. First of all, there's no right or wrong direction. It's only what people have gotten used to from, let's say, Fender, who's had a pan pot longer than I have. When I think about my hand and turning the pan pot, when I'm going clockwise, my hand's going towards the bridge. When it goes counterclockwise, my hand is going towards the neck. So that seems natural to me. I've polled players and dealers many times over the years, and they all support my direction. But yes, if you're used to the opposite, it's so easy to reverse the direction on a pan pot. There are 2 wires, one for each pickup, and where they connect at the pan pot, you just have to reverse the locations of the solder joints, and then it'll work the opposite way.
I think that's some great insight. I see that question quite a lot. The next one is asking if there is a USA online shop for spare parts.
There used to be. When COVID hit, I closed my online store, but I have a page on my website to indicate where to buy all the different pots and other parts that we use on our instruments.
Yeah, and regarding German instruments and also the new SMX line, you can check out the web store from Nashville, USA. They are adding more and more products, and we'll put the link in the description box below. Would you ever consider making a 6-string Sadowsky bass? Great question as well.
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm here right now, is to approve the first prototypes of the 6-string bass. We started working on this about a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
The first prototypes, we have 2 different styles, one with jazz bass pickups, one with soap bars in the modern locations. And the next step, I'll be evaluating the pickups that we've designed for the 6-string. And once I'm done with that, we should be ready to start production.
Mm-hmm. Stay tuned for that. Very exciting news. The next one is asking, how does chambering affect sound?
Chambering is something I started doing about 25 years ago. I started out 52 years ago building acoustic guitars. And in the late 70s, early 80s, when I was working with all these top session players in New York, I felt that the better instruments that I was working on were always the ones that were lighter in weight and sounded better acoustically. So I became convinced that electric guitars are still acoustic instruments. And the better they sound acoustically, the better they sound amplified. So I started chambering for 2 reasons. One was weight reduction. Mm-hmm. Chambered body knocks off about 3/4 of a pound of weight. Back in those days, again, the wood I was getting was heavier than I liked. You could not get the wood suppliers to select for lighter weight. So the chambering helped address the weight issue for me. And it also increases the acoustic resonance of the instrument, the kind of thing that when you're playing it acoustically, you can feel the vibrations more against your body. And again, I'm totally convinced my building philosophy is that solid body guitars and basses are still acoustic instruments.
Yeah. For everybody who prefers solid bodies, we actually just introduced also a solid body Metro line bass, because we also got this request quite often on the socials, so we thought we might make this an option.
Absolutely. No, there are some players who, especially the players who like 70s Fender J basses, the ash bodies with maple necks. Some of my players think that the heavy, solid-bodied weights have a sound that they think, especially for funk and slap, might be a little better. So yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong, and we try to please as many people as we can.
Sadowsky got you covered.
And I like that. Sadowsky's got you covered.
This guy is asking, how do you treat the neck of your basses? Aware it's wax, but what's the process?
So our finish on our necks is not wax. In New York, we do a flat nitrocellular slacker. In Germany, we use a polyurethane satin finish. And they don't require a lot of care. Just any everyday guitar polish on the back of the neck is fine. Even a good window glass cleaner on a paper towel, that's all you need to clean the back of the neck. I don't recommend using waxes or anything like that. And yesterday we shot a video on taking care of the fingerboards, both maple fingerboards and the rosewood fingerboards.
Who designed the MM style Sadowsky Metro line? And he's asking if you had any input in that.
Yeah, I have made my basses with a MM style pickup all the way back in the 80s, early 90s. I haven't used it a lot. I haven't made it part of most of my models, but it's something I always did. Look, the 70s MM bass, the Music Man basses, they're classic instruments and they have a distinct sound. And again, it's just a matter of serving the players and giving them what they want and what they need.
How did the brand start?
Well, the brand started I started building acoustic guitars in 1972. I did that for 2 years, and then I took over the repair shop for a good music store outside of Philadelphia and spent 5 years really developing my repair and restoration and hot rodding chops. In 1979, I decided to move back to my hometown, which is New York City, and start my own shop. So Sadowsky Guitars started officially in 1981. Again, at that time, I was a one-man shop. I quickly learned that I couldn't cover my overhead, my rent, and my expenses by myself in New York City. So I added my first full-time employee in 1984. But the official name, Sadowsky Guitars Ltd., was incorporated in 1981.
It's a pleasure talking to you and to hear about all these insights.
Well, thank you. It's also a pleasure to answer these questions for our fans. It's amazing how many people love what we do on social media and that we have our user groups on Facebook. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to answer their questions. And you have an amazing legacy too. It actually goes back a lot further than mine does. Framus was trademarked in 1946, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct.
But it's nice that we both have a history in the industry and we have great reputations. Yep. And again, it's just wonderful to have been here for another week in Markneukirchen. Nothing I love better than working here at the Warwick factory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for sending us your questions. If we didn't cover your question, feel free to reach out on our channels, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.